Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Imperial Scholars Podcast. My name is Mitch, my co-host is Cabs, and in today's episode, we follow up with the lineage and legacy of Nagasa's atrocities and all of the madness that happened now that Nehekara is a broken realm of just death, endless death, and just dry, barren deserts, and where we've led from there. Because last time, Cabs, if you may recall, the Tomb Kings got brought back, and they came back into sort of the consciousness of their own beings and realizing their ambitions.
Ooh, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Right,
it's gonna
yes.
be a juicy episode, dude.
It will be, yes, because this one, it was weird because I couldn't do as much research as I usually do. Like, usually I go and read the omnibus. There's not any books on Settra.
Really?
Yeah, I was astonished to find that out because he is...
It's like the main guy.
He's the dude. Like, he's the guy. Like, he's Alexander the Mighty. Like, here's an idea, all right? Let me list off the titles of Settra the Imperishable off of the wiki here.
I want the long list of titles. You're not missing one.
I'm gonna try my.
They're gonna write it in the comments if you miss one, bro. They're gonna write it.
Don't wait till the ending. I'm gonna try to get this in one breath. Here we go.
One breath.
Opener of the way, wielder of the divine flame, punisher of nomads, the great unifier, commander of the golden legion, sacred of appearance, bringer of light, father of hawks, builder of cities, protector of two worlds, keeper of the hours, chosen of Patra, high steward of the horizons, sailor of the great vitae, sentinel of the two realms, the undisputed, begetter of the begat, scourge of the faithless, carrion feeder, first of the charnel valley, rider of the sacred chariot. I can't. I'm not even like halfway through. Rider of the Sacred Chariot, Vanisher of Vermin, Champions of Death, of the Death Arena, Emperor of the Shifting Sands, he who wields the scepter, Great Hawk of the Heavens, Arch Sultan of Atalan, Waker of a Hero Titan, Monarch of the Sky, Majestic Emperor of the Shifting Sands, Champion of the Desert Gods, Breaker of the Ogre Clans, Builder of the Great Pyramid, Terror of the Living, Master of the Never-Ending Horizon, Master of the Necropolis, Taker of Souls, Tyrant of the Foolish, Bearer of Patra's Holy Blade, Scion of Usurian, Scion of Nehek, Settra the Great, Chaser of Nightmares, Keeper of the Royal Heart, Founder of the Mortuary Cult, Banisher of the Great Hierophant, High Lord Admiral of the Death Fleets, Guardian of the Charnel Pass, Tamer of the Lich King, Unliving Jackal Lord, Dismisser of the Warrior Queen, Charioteer of the Gods, He who does not serve, Slayer of Redditress, Scarab Purger, Favorite of Usurian, Player of the Great Game, Liberator of Life, Lord Sand, Wrangler of Scorpions, Emperor of the Dunes, Eternal Sovereign of the Henry's Legion, Seneschal of the Great Sandy Desert, Cursor of the Living, Regent of the Eastern Mountains, Warden of the Eternal Necropolis, Herald of all heralds, Caller of the Bitter Wind, God Tamer, Master of the Mortis River, Guardians of the Dead, Great Keeper of the Obelisk, Deacon of the Ass River, Belated of Wakers, General of the Mighty Frame? I think it's supposed to be Flame, Summoner of Sandstorms, Master of Necrotex, Prince of Dust, Tyrant of Araby, Purger of the Greenskin Breathers, Killer of the False Gods Champions, Tyrant of the Golden Dunes, Golden Bone Lord, Avenger of the Dead, Carrion Master, Eternal Wardens of Nehek's lands, Breaker of Dijaf's bonds, and many more. An idea of the level of pedigree that this man carries, and he doesn't get an omnibus about him.
That was like a solid minute of names.
And I went as fast as I could. I got completely tongue twisted.
So like what? Games Workshop are just like, you know what? We'll make like one of the coolest guys ever and just ignore him.
So what's weird is that Settra is a common character in all aspects of the timeline up until the end times. Like, he's the dude of Nehekara and the desert of Nehekara, right? But he doesn't get a book. He doesn't get an omnibus. He just gets the battle tomes. And that's where you find the lore. I don't have the battle tomes. I'm not going to scour for months to try to find any battle tomes about him, considering that they probably go back a good 30 years.
Oh wow, so there's like nothing new on this guy then.
It's all no, there's nothing. Well, we all know, like, we know about the end times of what happens with that, but beyond that,
Yeah.
it's just the tomes and when he was a playable character in the army.
Does he survive to Age of Sigmar?
No, he does not.
Oh,
Sadly. You know who does?
let me guess who does.
Who do you think overtakes Sigmar and becomes the god of death?
Are you serious?
Yep, that's exactly what happens. Nagash finally wins against Settra, and Settra is like given an opportunity to be like, he's actually given an opportunity from the Chaos Gods. It's like, oh, we can make you a king again, and he's like, fuck off. I'd rather die.
No way.
Yeah.
Yo, what a legend.
Only
Okay,
Petra.
So let's go with the story. So the Tomb Kings wake up, and Settra's awake now.
Well,
What
not
happened?
yet, actually. That's the important thing to point out, is that Settra was not awakened because of he had more like guarding tomes, scripture on the pyramid that he was encased in. So he wasn't awakened. Everyone else around him was, and they all came back to life or into consciousness. And then they were like, oh, yes, my grand ambition of ruling the world. And they all just start fighting each other.
Okay.
And I don't really I'm not sure what they're able to fight with. I don't think they have Ushabti or anything. I think it's just like skeletons and skeletons in chariots and stuff like that. And like
So it's
maybe
like
some
they're
tomb
like dead
scorpions.
soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe some constructs here and there. But they're all just fighting each other and just absolute bedlam is taking place. And this goes on for a long while. They
Really?
fight for so damn long.
So if they like kill, like, let's say like a skeleton, like we're both skeleton dudes, right?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
you know, you whack my head off, and am I dead? Like, how do you kill one of these undead soldiers?
It literally is just, if you manage to whack their head off, if you can crush the bones or whatever, like they're donezo. They're not hard to kill.
Okay, so it's like normal, like fantasy skeletons. Like there's no crazy weird thing with them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just,
Anyways,
it's just
so
basic stuff.
They fight for how long?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It's for a hot minute. Like they go on for long enough that it looks like all of Nehekara, like what's left of it, might turn into dust because of the endless battle between these kings. Like all of the structures and everything, like what was a remnant might just become nothing. And so the Lich priests. So apparently, what I didn't realize is that the mortuary cult, they have found a way to extend their lives for an abnormal amount of time through experimenting with magic and just whatever. Settra himself actually lived for way longer than he should have because of the mortuary cult. They were like, oh, just take your vitamins or whatever, right?
Oh, okay. So like even before they went like, what's it called? Like death crazy. Like they're still live longer than like the average man then pretty much.
Yes, yeah. They still lived quite a bit longer, but you know, it was a thing of like even after like 1,000 years of living, like Settra's like, I'm not gonna live long enough to see all of my ambitions come true.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the Liches and Settra, they lived a little bit longer, just through that stuff, and so the oldest Lich priest, a guy by the name of Katep, I believe, Grand Hierophant Katep, was looking at this and going like, all of these Tomb Kings are going to utterly destroy each other, and this is ridiculous. So his plan was just, I'm going to go to Settra's pyramid and awaken the Mighty One.
Okay.
And that's exactly what he does. He goes to the pyramid, wakes him up, goes, boss, there is madness going on your front door. Like, there's insanity on your porch. And Settra rides out with his golden chariot, the chariot of the gods. Like, this thing is actually blessed by the gods, and it's just a golden chariot with flaming blue wheels that just soars across the desert sands.
That sounds pretty badass.
He's a dope dude. He's a bad man. And he comes out with his army, like the largest one there. And also, like, Settra is no slouch when it comes to actual combat prowess. And he's basically just like, all of you, shut up. Like, fuck off. I am the boss here. You all know better. And Arkin looks at this like Arkin. Meanwhile, the whole time Arkin was like, yes, an opportunity for me to take over power now that Nagash is gone and the Tomb Kings are left to their own, thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, pretty much immediately after that, it's like, not Nagash, Settra wakes up and Arkin's just like, oh no. And he's just like,
uh-oh.
Yeah, he's like, I will fight you then, Settra. And Setra's like, get the hell out of my leg. Like, he just gets destroyed and Arkin flees into the north like a, Saturday villain.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like, I will be back. And I think at this point, Arkin pretty much realizes that the only way he's going to gain power is to be subservient to Nagash because he's hated by all the Tomb Kings.
Really?
Well, partially because they come to learn like that it was Nagash that brought forth this catastrophe, right?
Yeah, like they're all pissed. They don't actually want to be alive as like necromancer skeleton dudes, right?
No, Settra wanted to come back to a golden paradise, and he does come out, and he makes all of the other Tomb Kings very quickly come to heel, being like, you want me to go over the titles again? Like, I am Settra the Mighty. You will all kneel before me. And they're like, okay, you got it, boss. And then he's like, all right, like, Ketep, explain to me what happened. Why is this? What is happening? Where is this beautiful paradise that I was promised? And I come out here and it's just bones and ash and sand. What happened? And Ketep explains the entire thing to him, being like, the gas did some crazy kooky stuff and blah, 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 and poisoned the water holes. And at that point, like, Settra's seething, barely holding his rage.
Oh.
But he just basically, he looks at the Tomb Kings and he goes, all of you go, like, you're getting time out. Go back to your sarcophagus and rest until I call for you. Like, you, and you get to say, like, I'll keep my standard Kemrian army. The rest of you, go back to bed.
Do they listen? Like,
they do. They don't. They know if they don't listen, they're going to get crushed into dust by the chariot.
Damn, so Settra has that much like power over everyone. I guess he was like revered as like a god, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is the Gilgamesh of this world, dude. Like, just an idea. The sword he wields, the blade of Petra. Settra, as the devoted man as he was to the gods, was like, I'm going to create a blade worthy of. Basically, it's like Odin's spear, right? Worthy of Petra, the mightiest of gods. And he brings it forward, and Petra is like, oh, this is dope, man. But you know what? You get to keep this, actually. And I'm going to grant it with my blessing. So Settra actually has a sword that is like glows with like the sun, like the glowing of the sun. And just like an endless Petra's flame, like the heat of Petra's flame at the end of the blade.
Dude, that sounds awesome, man.
It's so cool. He's got some dope gear, man. So yeah, like Settra just bosses everyone at this point. It's like, because Settra at the end of the day is a tyrant. He's like, I am leading.
So like, I'm assuming he goes to battle with Nagash eventually, right? Like he must hate him then.
So
right?
The thing is that, remember last time I said they never found Nagash's right hand?
Yeah.
I found out that all that really was just that that was actually a reason for an item on the tabletop, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, someone let me know that in the comments, being like, oh yeah, like, apparently it was just something the Tomb Kings had to like boost mages or whatever. And Nagash doesn't get his hand back until the end times.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, of course he comes back.
How does he come back? Are we going into that today, or is that another episode?
I don't. Well, again, Arkin mostly. I'm pretty sure Arkin just does crazy magic, and it's kind of like this is a weird comparison. It wouldn't be like an episode if I didn't make a bizarre comparison. But have you ever read Percy Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the main villain was like in that coffin, just regenerating the whole time.
Yeah.
That's Nagash. He's just regenerating over time, and he just comes back every now and then to be like,
why'd you do that voice, man?
Yeah, it's me, Nagash. Yeah. He-Man,
So
you think you can defeat me, Settra?
So could he just not like? Does he not die ever?
I mean, he just dies over and over again just to come back.
Oh man, this guy. Who is? Yeah, just a dick.
Nagash is a menace, dude. He has endless plots. I mean, dude, look at what he did while he was alive.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the man started a war with the Skaven over Warpstone, and he won.
That's actually impressive.
The pedigree that Nagash has, and yet somehow he never manages to fully come out on top, is hilarious to me. Dude's been through the ringer.
Okay, so what does Settra do now? Like, so he's awake, he sends everyone to sleep. Like, what does he do?
So that was kind of the thing, was he sends them all to sleep just because he's like, I need to rule, I need to govern, I have to go over all of this stuff. And like, also, mind you, he came back and he's like, the blessing of the gods has left us. And to a priest king, he's like, what did you do? So it's like, I gotta get all of this worked out. Like, I woke up and the house is on fire, and I need to figure out what do I do from here.
So like, I want to know like Settra's motivation. Like, is it to like try to actually fix everything, or like
right now it is?
He's like
it's just
evil.
To fix.
Right now it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's to fix Nehekara back to its former glory, or at least to just like govern enough. The problem is that this is Warhammer, and now that like everything has kind of just like been going on around him, everyone else just starts attacking.
What do you mean?
So at one point, this is according to the wiki, mind you, but apparently the Norskins actually come all the way into Nehekara to raid and plunder the Tomb Kings. Because mind you, it is like Nehekara, so it's like all of the gold and stuff that's buried along with the Tomb Kings. So it's prime for plunder.
Yeah, like it's probably like a lot of like adventurers that come down to try to like steal some ancient goods, right?
Exactly, right? Like they're Vikings.
Yeah, okay.
It's like they don't like, they're coming into Holy Land and they're taking the treasure and gold that was like buried underneath with whatever, right? They don't care. Yeah. It's like, hey, free stuff, free loot.
That makes sense. And then they just run into a giant undead army.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that like they're just pillaging, and then Settra's kind of like, who the hell are these random ooga boogas coming into my house and stealing my shit? Like, get out of here. And he goes and he like sends the skeleton army to go and deal with them, like chariots. Like Settra's big into his chariots.
Okay, he loves chariots.
Yeah, he loves his chariots. So it's just like, imagine chariots with bone horses and skeleton archers just plowing through dudes with like, cool. Blades on the end of it, like Egyptian style chariots, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he's just doing all this. He's got Lich Priests and stuff casting magic and doing all this stuff. Somewhere down the line, they get, more into magic. I think just with Nagash's spells, like, they get more into it. I'm not entirely sure.
Does Settra know magic?
He comes to learn magic. I don't know if he learned it in life. It really seems like the only one who knew it was Nagash. So, or maybe it was a thing of Nagash just was like on that. Well, he is on that much more of a level than everyone else. Because, he's doing crazy sacramental stuff for necromancy.
Okay.
So I don't actually know like the ability, how like where Settra is when he first wakes up, but he does come to learn some magical stuff. Yes. And I think he still has like some blessings of Petra and stuff like that because he is just that Chad. And so he goes to fight the Norskins with his skeleton army, and he's doing pretty good. And then he goes and fights their chieftain. And according to the wiki, he actually is forced to retreat from the chieftain, and apparently he leaves behind like the sacred headdress of Kemri.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's like, like the chieftain's like, oh, look, like more shiny stuff. Cool, I'll go throw this on a shrine and devote it to Slanesh or whatever, and, maybe I'll get some sexy bitches in return. Who knows?
Asher?
Norskins,
Who are the Northmen? As you haven't actually like told me too much about them.
Oh, I mean, it is literally just the chaos worshipping dudes. They're just chaos Vikings. Like, it's just that simple.
Okay. Yeah, you did mention these guys. You mentioned them like way back now, I remember.
Yeah, like in the first episode. Like, there's not a whole lot. They'll get their own episode down the line, but there really isn't too much to cover. I mean, they appear in other books as well, right? Like, they'll appear a lot with Sigmar when we talk about the Empire.
Yeah, like when we go like way further down.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a lot of lore to get through.
I think we're still like 300 years before Sigmar's birth or something like that.
Really? Okay,
I'm not sure. The chronological order of this stuff is so much.
There's just so much lore. So wait, okay, what chaos gods are they like worshiping that like these Northmen? Are just all of them or like?
Oh, the big
like
four, like Zeet, Nurgle, Slanesh, and Khorne.
Okay, so like it kind of depends on like their tribe, I guess, right?
It does, yes. Wow, you're really like just like figuring this out, like basic intuition to figure out how the crazy Viking men being like, yes. Well, obviously Khorne is eating good with these dudes, right? There's not a lot of Norskins who are like, I think Zeech might be the way to go, guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense that they're like if they're like Slanesh or more like Khorne.
Yeah, exactly. Or even Nurgle, to be honest, because Nurgle is all about like durability, right? Like,
yeah, that makes sense too. But I feel like the other ones are no bueno.
Nah, yeah, exactly. I feel like Zeet is the weakest with the Norskins, at least.
Yeah. So so he gives this robe to them, or he leaves it there by accident. And then what happens?
so SETTRA'S forced to retreat, and he accidentally leaves behind his headdress. And the Norskins are like, "Oh, cool, let's take this with us." And they pretty much just from that point they just go back to home in the northern waste. And SETTRA is furious about this.
Oh no!
So him in his infinite like arrogance and stubbornness and just like, I am SETTRA, god damn it. He marches his armies all the way to the northern wastes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that means he's going past like the force of the Empire before it was the Empire, past the mountains of the dwarfs, all the way like basically from one end of the earth to the next.
So you're telling me that there was just a giant army of undead just traveling north.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go deal with that son of a bitch and take back what's mine. And they just pass through endless plains like day and night.
That's actually crazy. Did they like fight random like people on the way, or like what happened on that journey? Does it like talk about it?
I'm sure like, Beastmen attacked, something like that here and there, like maybe like a random like I want to say Germanic tribe because it's basically the Empire at this point. Some random tribe might have attacked them or something, but I think by and large they managed to just like get through stuff, and maybe every now and then a chaos monstrosity would attack. It's like, get the hell out of my way.
Yeah, like, okay, but I was just like seeing if he was plundering, or if he was just like dead set on going to the north.
No, he was dead set on just getting this crown back and making that dude pay for his transgressions.
Oh man, so he's like he's an angry boy.
He's an angry, stubborn man, and so he gets all the way up there, and he basically like brings the Northmen, all of the tribes, like whatever he has to go through to get to the one he's looking for. It's like kill them all, add them to the army until we get that headdress back.
No way.
Yeah. That's all he does. He just slaughters the Northmen.
Imagine being a different tribe and it's just like, you just brought the undead horde to our lands, you idiot.
That's exactly what happens.
Oh man.
And sorry, go ahead.
You're going. No, I was just gonna say like, so what happened? Like,
oh, I mean, he just slaughters like a handful of Norskin tribes. He makes an even larger army than was already there, and finds that dude and fights him and takes the crown back. And then I'm just gonna turn you, run over you with my chariot.
Yeah, so he murdered like almost everyone up there.
Yeah, he just murders almost all of just a handful, like half the Norskins up there, and whatever other abominations were up there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, Settra's just playing like drive-by with his chariot the whole time. Like, that's how he fights. He's just like, I'm just going to plow through these guys because I have a literal golden flaming chariot that I can just plow through you with.
How did he lose like the original battle? I'm so confused.
I don't entirely know. It sounds like he got like they got a lucky hit in on him, and he was forced to like turn into a group of scarabs, like a swarm of scarabs, and fly off back to Khemri where he could recover.
Oh, okay. So they were just lucky then.
Sounds like they just got lucky. Like, that's another reason why Settra's like, I lost to a savage primitive from the north.
Ooh.
Like, I'm going to take back my stuff.
So then what happens?
Well, he goes back like to Nehekara. It's like, all right, guys, let's go back and figure all this out from there. And so Settra, like a little while passes on. Settra's getting everything back in order. He's trying to reestablish his kingdom. And then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, the Greenskins are assembling a massive wog. One that even like Settra's looking at going like, oh no.
Yeah. What are the orcs doing? What are the boys up to?
Well, they've just like assembled enough of a big wall under like one banner, and they've decided, you know what? Let's go south.
Just
because I feel like maybe because Gork demands it. Who knows? But they decided to go south into Nehekara.
Oh no!
And Settra's actually looking at this, going like, shit, that's so much worse.
Are the orcs like good warriors?
No, they're
like,
horrible warriors.
Okay, so then why would Settra be like, this sucks?
Because there's that many.
Oh damn.
Yeah, no, dude, this is like it's a huge wog. It's like all like 15 tribes have gathered up together under one banner and are just going south because they feel like it. Oh, also, I didn't mention this wog is heavily like wyverns are a big part of greenskins, actually. Like big bosses and like war bosses will ride wyverns into battle.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's
kind of sick.
They just are just mean. If it's mean enough, like the boss is just like, I'm gonna make you my pet and ride you into battle.
So wait, you're telling me orcs have wyverns? That's kind of cool.
I know. I'm very disappointed. I forgot to mention that with the green skin episode.
You didn't say that.
I know. Cool. Well, if a boss is mean enough, they will have it. And this particular wog apparently is heavily like built upon wyverns.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's not just greenies coming in here. It's just a wyvern army along with it. And Settra is looking at this going like, all right, my Lich priest, there's only one thing that we can do here. And so Settra sends off he sends off like the Lich priest to go and awaken what is referred to as, I believe this thing is called a necrosphinx.
Okay.
Go, like, look up a necrosphinx real quick. This thing is nutty. Because I don't think it's what you expect.
Oh, it's like a construct.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, what is this?
And that's what I'm saying, bro. He's like, all right, there's only one solution. We need to go and awaken this thing. And
so this is really cool.
This is probably one of my favorite units in the Tomb King's arsenal.
This looks really cool, actually.
Yeah. Dude, these things are dope. So, sure enough, like the Lich priests are forced to go and summon these things and awaken them. And so, like, they get to Khemri, like the wall gets to Khemri, the wyverns are flying in, ready to pounce. And right at that moment, these things just emerge out of the sand and just start, like, hacking and slashing the wyverns to dust. And Settra, in usual, formation, just, I'm going to rage my army through the greenskins. We're going to see who wants wog.
Oh, no.
And he does succeed in just driving back the greenskins. Right? So that if you have these things coming out of the sand, wrecking your shit.
Yeah, you just turn around.
You're going to run away even if you're a greenskin. Like, I think like at this point, Settra has awakened other constructs as well. Like he's got normal sphinxes. He's got this crazy thing called Hero Titans.
Hero Titans?
Yeah.
So you have a lot of like constructs? Like, do they just have a lot of like magical things?
Well, if you want a magical construct, look this thing up real quick.
And he used this against the orcs?
I'm pretty sure. If not here, he uses them later. I'm not sure when these things come into play.
What is this?
It's a magical monster construct.
Yo, this thing's massive.
Oh, yeah, that's like the size of the Nexo Sphinx, too.
Yo, what?
Dude, the Tomb Guards the Tomb Kings get real nutty.
Yo, they got some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sure this thing just wrecks people. How do you kill this thing?
I mean, you generally don't. I mean, granted, it's Warhammer, right? So, as big as this thing is, I want to remind you that the dwarves have, like, grape shotguns.
Oh, okay, so they probably just shoot it down, I guess.
Yeah, enough grape shots are probably going to bring this thing down at the end of the day. Skaven have literal Gatling guns.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone's got their nutty thing, and this is one of them.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, I mean... Yeah, these things are, like, the Tomb Kings have some cool stuff. At some point, also, the Ushabti come back, but I think they're just crude constructs. I don't think they're the actual Ushabti. I think SETTRA'S just, like, make, like, bone and metal and stone constructs that look like the Ushabti and then bless them back to life. I demand it.
I demand it. Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now that you're talking about like blessings and stuff with Settra, I'm kind of curious. He was loved by his gods before, right?
Yes.
So what about now? Like, what do they think of him? Considering that he's like a warmongering tomb king, pretty much.
Oh, I don't think the gods ever, like, the thing was that, like, the actual sacrament was broken by Nagast, but, like, the opinion of the gods, like, the flame of Petra is still in SETTRA'S sword and stuff like this, like...
Yeah, okay, so they don't, like, forsaken him.
Oh, no, he's still... No, that's the thing, actually, is, like, when he comes back, like, the first thing he does is, like SETTRA built all these monuments to the gods, so when he comes back, he's like, all right, guys, start rebuilding this stuff. Immediately. I demand it.
Okay, so Settra still loves the gods and stuff, and they still like him, but it's just like an unfortunate circumstance then.
Pretty much, yeah. He's extremely devoted, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just, he's also arrogant. It's like, there's Petra, and then just ever so slightly underneath, there's me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he views himself as like a demigod.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you blame him? Look at the man, like, riding around in his pimp chariot.
I don't blame him. Look how many titles he has.
Yeah, and look at the monsters that he's running around with through the desert sands, just killing things.
Dude, if I was like a normal adventurer, I don't think I'd ever step foot in this place. I don't know why anyone would go down there.
Oh, dude, it sucks. Like, the only people who are crazy enough to go in here looking for gold and stuff, I think, well, actually, no. Some of the Empire, and then, like, the Druki and the Norskins, of course.
The Norskins are just nuts in general. I feel like they don't care.
Oh, I mean, they worship chaos very happily.
Yeah.
Even during, like, when humans were nomads, everyone hated the Norskins.
Yeah.
They were that savage.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so he fights this giant orc Wa, and then they get like just chopped down, right?
Yeah, they get cut down. I think somewhere down the line he also establishes like there's some elves there as well, and he's forced to. I think he's pretty much forced at that point to make an alliance with the elves to fight off against the orcs, kind of begrudgingly.
Oh, really?
Being like,
okay. These are just so many.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much. Imagine, like, 50% of the orcs just like decide to come down to Kemri. That's what it sounds like. Like, this is a borderline world altering battle. It's just, it's against Tomb King, so no one noticed. Oh
man.
So that all that stuff happens. And yeah, he has like a allegiance with the elves for that battle. I don't think it leads to anything. It's not like it leads to like, oh, good relations with the elves and Tomb Kings, because SETTRA'S like, I am SETTRA, you can leave now.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah. I think just it was out of necessity, so the elves also didn't just get slaughtered.
Okay.
And then somewhere down the line, not too much longer afterwards, the lizard men decide to attack Nehekara for reasons.
The lizard men are like good though, I remember, right? Like they're like one of the OG good guys.
They are.
Right?
The issue with the lizard men is that they will look at... The problem with them is that if a scripture from like one of their plaques tells them, go and slaughter the Tomb Kings on this date, they'll abruptly go from like having like a trade agreement with them to being like, yeah, we're at war with you now. The old ones demand blood.
Yeah, they're like just so devoted. But like in general, they usually only attack like chaos and like the undead and stuff, right? If I remember.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. That's all they're really concerned with is destroying chaos.
Yeah, okay.
But if a plaque somehow says like, oh, raising all of the empire will help with the downfall of chaos, or like, you know, slaughtering high elves or whatever, they're like, all right, I guess that's the next phase. Let's go mess someone up.
They're just blinded to like God's orders pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, they're more like, they're more programmed than anything, right? They're like semi-sentinels, the best way I can describe it.
Like the clones from Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% actually.
Order 66. Order 66.
Yep. Or like how, like, you know, Space Marines, right? Just being like, nope, this is what I have to do. This is my duty. I don't ask questions.
For the Emperor.
For the Emperor.
Okay, so why do they attack this place?
Who knows?
The lizardmen?
Who knows?
It doesn't say.
I'm not entirely sure. It was ongoing that the lizardmen would sometimes go and attack Nehekara in the past. Like, these are the three groups that would consistently attack Nehekara in the past, right? Was the lizardmen, the greenskins, and the Norskins.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of the thing is that now, so I mean, Settra, again, with the massive army that he's built and like the empire he's built, he's like, oh, okay, I guess I gotta fight these guys now. And he does manage to like route the lizardmen back into the jungle because like, the jungle is just on the border of Nehekara.
Oh, okay. So they're like bordering. You know, I still don't get why the Norsemen come across half the world to attack these guys. It makes no sense.
I don't understand that either. Like, I don't like geographically, it seems very bizarre. I mean, like, it seems like it'd be easier to get to Ulthuan than it would be to get to Nehekara.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I feel like they have like way better targets. It's like, you know what? Nah, let's go across. It's like if the actual Vikings, right, of the past was like, you know, instead of raiding England, I'm going to go all the way to Egypt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go all the way to Africa. Like, whoa, wait, what?
It's like, huh? What?
Yeah, it doesn't make that much sense geographically. I mean, I guess in a weird way, like that is you make an interesting point. Like the Vikings somehow managed to get around to basically most of the known world. So I guess the Norskins are operating similarly of being like, oh, a Khorne says I need to pass the Empire, I need to pass Ulthuan and go to Nehekara. Like, I guess we're going to Nehekara, guys.
Well, plus they also know that it's like rich with gold too, and like I'm assuming that they're like greedy butts.
Yeah, they're like, we can just go and sack the pyramids, and you know, there's all these like lineages. It does make sense. No,
I understand why like people would come like there, right? Because of like all the gold and the ancient relics. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird that they go across like half the world.
And the fact that it's like with Settra, a living demigod, is just ruling over that. It's like if you get caught, you're dead. There's no if,
exactly.
and but.
You know, I'm just too sane. Clearly, I don't worship the chaos gods.
No, obviously, you don't worship the chaos gods or dark elf gods.
Yeah,
you know, like I said, every now and then, like some guys of the Empire will go in there, but it's like they'll literally be like looked at by all their friends, being like, "You guys are idiots. Don't go there."
Yeah. Okay. How does like the world view Nehekara?
Oh, it's called the Land of the Dead. It's like, you don't go there. This is wasteland. Like Settra wants to rule here. It's his.
Okay, so like no one like actually wants to deal with the undead problem then.
No one is like insane enough to go in there, except for, you know, the orcs.
Well, the orcs don't care.
Yeah, the orcs don't care. They just wander anyways. Like,
yeah. I feel like they don't even know what it is. They're just like, oh, we'll fight.
You give it for a scrap, then. You know.
So, okay, so what happens now? What happens now to Settra after he routs the lizard men?
So he routs the lizard men, and at this point, Settra is finally like fed up with everything going on. He just looks at it and he goes, I've been attacked by our common foes, the same foes I fought against when I was alive. Nothing has changed. The realm is completely destroyed. I'm so angry. And he just summons all of that's the other thing too. Like I didn't mention the Tomb Kings. Like anyone who did oppose Settra, it immediately just got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like any of the Tomb Kings that opposed him, it was like, all right, well, like go say hi to Petra then. Or did you?
Okay, so like in the meantime, like there was Tomb Kings that still fought against Settra then also.
Oh yeah, because they wanted power. Like at the very beginning when he woke up out of his pyramid and he came out in his chariot, it's like, we don't listen to you. And it's like, oh, interesting. And then they just got, destroyed.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't stand a chance. Like, well, their arrogance got to them.
Yeah.
So at this point, he wakes them all up. Like he wakes up all of the Tomb Kings, and he's like, you know what? At this point, like I'm fed up. Like I think the only living group at this point is like the Lich Priests. Technically, I think the Lich Priests are alive, but they look the same as the other Tomb Kings.
Wait, Lich Priests are alive?
I believe so. I mean, probably if they die, they just get brought back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, the Lich Priests, that was the thing, was they were living for like 1,000 years or something because of the crazy stuff they were doing when Settra was alive.
Yeah. Okay.
So at this point, Settra is like, all right, all of you wake up. And at this point, he's like, the deserts of Nehekara are my land. They belong to the Tomb Kings and they belong to the honored dead. They do not belong to these random raiders of lizardmen, greenskins, Norskins, whatever the hell wants to come into my house. We're kicking them all out. And at this point, he basically goes full in the gas, actually, at this point. He's like, you know what? We're going to expand the empire. We will recognize the dream I wanted all those years past. And if, no one will submit to me in the living realm, well, then we'll make them into zombies of undead skeletons. No
way. So he just had enough.
Yep. And at this point, he goes full in the gas, basically. Like, he's not poisoning. Oh, the difference is that Nagash was poisoning watering holes and, stuff like that. His thing is like, we're taking it all by force.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the thing that sucks is like at this point now, like the aggression of Nehekara, like, oh, that's the other thing too. Like other notable characters have come back to life. Like, remember Khalida, Neferata's cousin?
Yep.
Yeah. So she's come back as well. And she was like a chosen of the god Ashaf. And yes, so now her thing is like bringing back the cult of Ashaf and hunting Khalida and the vampires. That's her grudge now.
Oh my gosh, dude! This is like a Game of Thrones stuff going on.
This the undead family drama spanning for centuries, and it's going across the globe.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and that's the thing now is like if she's just going to be hunting down vampires, like, and that is basically her main thing now with her armies.
Really? So she just goes around the world hunting down vampires,
and hunting down Neferata. And trying to reestablish her kingdom and her connection to the gods.
That's actually kind of cool. So there's like an undead like army just going around killing vampires.
Yep. And
that's pretty cool.
Apparently, there's another book. Maybe we'll cover this in the meantime. I don't intend to read this. I don't think it's really enough to do an episode on from the sounds of it. But apparently, there's a book that covers Neferata, who goes to the north towards the dwarfs, and she basically just slaughters a dwarven settlement and just establishes a vampire hold way up in the mountains.
Yo, that's cool.
It's pretty dope, pretty mean, pretty Neferata-esque. And apparently we also find out what happens to Alcatazar.
What happens to my boy?
Well, I don't know. I didn't find out. I gotta read the book.
It's in the
at some
book. Oh,
point.
okay, it's in that book. I see.
Yeah, we'll cover the book or something like that, like somewhere down the line. But apparently there is still lore with him. So I think unfortunately Alcatazar is just dead somewhere. I think unfortunately he's just donezo.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I feel like they could, you know what, dude? They could still bring him back for Age of Sigmar. I don't see why not, unless he's literally like, I mean, they've brought back some characters in Age of Sigmar that had no right to come back, but
he's like the last good guy.
He is.
This like whole crapshoot.
He really is, yeah, because everyone else who was good and decent got poisoned. And then the big bad guy died, and it didn't matter anyways because everyone else was dead.
It would kind of be cool to have like a Lich Paladin-esque dude, like just trying to hunt the armies of Nagash.
That's what I'm saying,
by
right? Like we've already
that'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick, actually.
Like if we had that with Khalida hunting down the vampires, do it with Age of Sigmar.
But I guess you what army would you put him in then, right?
What do you mean?
Be like almost like he wouldn't be able to be like a tabletop character then, right? So
I don't see why not.
Yeah, but if he's, I guess, but he wouldn't go with like the Tomb Kings then, right?
No, again, I mean, that's okay, so I actually didn't mention this. The Tomb Kings actually got discontinued as a faction once Age of Sigmar became a thing.
Why?
It's pretty gross, pretty disgusting. Because again, it was this thing that was like, oh, well, Settra lost the fight to Nagash, and so Nagash has his own thing that he's doing, and blah, blah, blah. And so now Nagash, I mean, to be fair, Nagash now has a really cool sub-faction, like in Age of Sigmar, that's actually super dope. You've seen those dudes, the Osiarch Bone Reapers, I think they're called.
Yeah, we talked about them. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like the new undead faction then, pretty much. It's like Nagash's boys. Yeah.
But unfortunately, that means that the Tomb Kings, like, and then like that's the thing that sucks is that all the cool stuff of like the Hero Titan, the Necrosphinx, all that, the Ushabti even, they're all donezo. They don't have models anymore.
Dude, those are such cool models.
I know, dude. I was so upset. It's so garbage. Ugh. Anyways, I'm upset about that. I didn't actually care a lot for the Tomb Kings at first. This omnibus and looking over all this stuff has brought me to like really appreciate them. And now they're discontinued.
I'm a big undead guy. Like I love undead and fantasy in general. Like I love liches. I love all this stuff. So like this is right up my alley.
That's fair.
I'd honestly play probably as the Tomb Kings if they bring back Warhammer like fantasy, like the original one.
Cap, that's a segue for you.
Why? What's up?
Have you heard about the old world?
Yeah, that's war. Yeah, I know. I heard they might be bringing it back, right?
Oh, they did bring them back.
Oh, they did.
They did. Yeah, they brought them back for the old world. But again, I mean, it's just starting out, and they don't have like right now. Like I think their main dude is riding on top of a bone dragon. So I don't think they got all the cool stuff that like the old models have. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see.
So during Settra's life, right?
Yeah.
So like in the old world, does he like fight with like that? We obviously know Nagash comes back, right? Oh, do they like fight each other?
Sorry, I completely forgot about that. So actually, he does come back, and that's the thing is that like. Because he was told of what happened, immediately he's like, oh, Nagash, like my greatest opponent, hands down, no question. So he does go on to fight Nagash. Like Nagash comes back, I think, a handful of times. He does come back a handful of times. I know he comes back once and because he had his hand cut off, he gives himself like a metal hand.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, like Nagash he's a villain. He's a menace. And then, of course, it's Nagash, so he's like, I'm going to overthrow Settra.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he starts from scratch. It's like, all right, time to take over again. I'm going to summon up my army of undead because I can just do that because I'm Nagash and I'm the greatest necromancer ever. And I'm going to fight all of the armies of Nehekara. And, of course, he loses to Settra and Settra sends him scurrying away.
Okay.
So, Nagash does come back a handful of times. or maybe he only comes back once. I can't even remember, to be honest. But yeah, he does come back. He fights Settra and he loses. And at that point, Arkin basically is just like trying to lead to create enough momentum that when Nagash comes back, it's like, don't worry, my guy, I got you. We got all this army built up. We got all this, the treachery taking place to put everything in our favor. I got you. We got this, homie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's interesting, like with Nehekara, I don't know if it's technically Nehekara, but in like the desert plains where they are, there's other cultures there that are just surviving, that are just like dealing with like the Tomb Kings just coming over the horizon and attacking them every now and then. It's like, oh God, here they come again. So there are some people who do live in the the desert plains.
Oh, there is. So there's like some normal people still. It's not just all undead.
But no, not undead though.
They're not undead. Sorry.
They're not undead. It's just dudes who live there that were not a part of Nehekara.
Oh, like random tribes or something of men.
Well, there's a faction called like Araby, which is basically just Arabic Knights, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those dudes are out there, like basically just neighbors to Settra. That every now and then it's just like, oh God, more skeletons coming. Is that a hero titan?
Oh man,
dude, their life sucks.
Yeah. Oh, I would hate to live there, dude. You just move. Honestly, you just move.
Just move. There's like,
you'll find somewhere else.
Dude, I know the Empire sucks, but like the Empire can't be any worse than that.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing too. I'm like, you're in the desert.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. Like, and also Skaven, right?
Is there a lot of Skaven like in this area? Like in general? Obviously we know Nagash fights them, right?
Yes, yeah. The Skaven are everywhere in Warhammer, except for, wouldn't you know it, Ulthuan.
Of course.
Of course, right? And meanwhile, the elves are like, we got it so rough. The Drukir are coming again. Meanwhile,
they
like,
to deal with one thing. Every other race has to deal with like all this BS.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, meanwhile, like Eric von Mustardstash is like, I dealt with the 3rd Beastman raid today. I've been promoted 5 times this week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ugh, pansy elves, get over it, dude. I don't know, man. So, I mean, yeah, like, so that's Settra now. It's just like, I will overthrow the world and lead it into my image and bring it under the God's rule and me. Because, who can blame him?
Okay.
I mean,
so, sorry, yeah, continue.
I was just going to say, like, I can't really blame Settra. Like, given all of his achievements and everything, I'm like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you, dude?
Honestly, like, if I was him, like, I was that great, and then I got brought back to life from this asshole Nagash, I don't blame him either. I'd be pretty pissed. And I'd just be like, you know what? I'm undead. There's nothing I can do. Let's just try to make the best of it. Let's go kill everyone that's pissing me off. So I don't blame him. I don't actually blame him for being evil.
Well, I mean, is he even evil though? That's the thing. Because it's this thing of like, I keep getting attacked. I'm sick of defending. And, the other option is that like the Empire ain't great. The Norskins are over there. There's greenskins. There's lizard men. Maybe things would be better. Like, I ruled the greatest empire of all time where there was actual peace. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad for me to just genocide the world under my reign.
Yeah, he kind of has like a Thanos thought process, Yeah. Like Marvel.
Yeah, honestly.
Which like I said, I don't blame him. Like this is a villain that you can like see where he's coming from, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So what does Settra do? So he fights Nagash, and then like where does Nagash chill? Like how does like the dynamics work?
I mean Nagash has a lot of stories about him, and Nagash actually will appear. He'll appear like in the Empire stories, actually.
Oh man, okay, so he's just like big evil dude.
Yeah, he never stopped. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is being like, while Settra is trying to do his thing, being like, I'm going to rule over the world, the Nagash comes back from the dead, like, yeah. It's like, oh, God, this guy again.
Does he like kill Nagash and then he comes back? Like, how does it work?
I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he kills him or if he just sends him fleeing. but he beats his ass. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
on a
But he
few
loses in
occasions.
the end. You said he loses in the end, right? In the end times.
But by the end times, and the gas, just being the gas and plotting and scheming and having a big undead army to fight off, it's like he finally manages to beat Settra and just take over the Tomb Kings.
That's actually crazy.
It's also worth pointing out that Nagash, like through some crazy stuff, actually comes to control the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think that will get covered another time through another character, because they're basically, they're just subservient to him, like not by choice.
I have the wiki up, and then I just see during the end times, Settra was defeated, right?
Yeah.
And then like he just looks at basically a burning ball over the sun, and then it's just like, you can be king again, and he just sits there silently. That's pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. The Chad.
Honestly, he's a cool character, man. He's actually really cool.
Yeah, someone said it was like, oh, like you guys didn't really go over Settra a whole lot, and I'm like, well, I mean, Settra is he's a background character until like when he becomes a Tomb King, when he becomes the guy, and then that's when the faction of the Tomb Kings becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And all their crazy constructs and stuff, right?
He gets a model, right? Like in the old Warhammer.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a model of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a look at
that'd
the
be so
model,
cool.
dude.
I want to see Ashley. Settra model. Oh yeah, look at him on his chariot. Yeah, this guy's cool. Honestly, he might be one of my favorite characters we've covered. Not gonna lie.
A lot of the fan base has a real hard on for this dude, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah.
He's really
Unfortunately,
cool.
he just, didn't make it to the end
So-
times, but he goes out in like a Chad.
Who does he like? So he fights basically everyone that opposes him. Like does he fight the vampires too, or no?
When the opportunity presents itself that he has to, oh yeah, 100%. Well, again, because the vampires are subservient to Nagash. So it's like, go fight them. It's like, oh, okay.
So the way I see it is basically there's two undead or three, I guess. Like there's the vampires, which are allied with Nagash, and then there's like just the Tomb Kings under Settra, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. And the Tomb Kings, like they go out and attack like the empires. He's still trying to expand, right?
Oh yeah, they leak on and start fighting Bretonia, and I think I don't know if they actually leak into the Empire. Maybe every now and then, but they mostly they fight with the desert areas. They fight the orcs to the north. That's the other thing too. If the orcs and the undead are going at it constantly, that's probably keeping it a stalemate.
Are you serious?
Well, I mean, the orcs are actually just north of the desert.
Oh, okay.
So if Settra's hang on, let me try to get my Settra voice. I have prepared the greatest army that Patra has ever seen. And then meanwhile, over the horizon, you just hear, oh! And it's like, oh shit, not again.
So it's like every time Settra wants to go out on a raid, he has to deal with the orcs. That's actually hilarious. So the orcs kind of keep them in check in a way.
Probably. I mean, that's every faction in Warhammer, right? Every faction, well, except the Empire. The Empire lives. Every day is a miracle that the Empire survives, dude.
Are they okay, I guess we'll go over them in the future, but they're probably the weakest faction then, right?
Yes, that's the whole point of the Empire. They're the opposite of the 40K, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the exact opposite of that, where it's oh yes, thousands of worlds and thousands of stars ruled over by the God Emperor. The Empire of Warhammer is only through the Emperor's greatest diplomatic abilities can he keep his guys united long enough to not kill each other and not get eaten by beastmen.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's a rough job.
So they did a 180 and with that.
Oh yeah, it's a total 180 in comparison.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, we'll get them covered somewhere down the line. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that really covers most of the Tomb King. I mean, I guess hang on, let me see their other stuff real quick. Look up Tomb King army real quick so we can look over their units, because I only really went over some of their stuff, right?
See, I'll search it up.
We got this thing called like the Casket of Souls, which is like a catapult deal. We got the the Army of Scarabs. We got like the Tomb Scorpion constructs.
See, they have Settra. They have Arkin the Black. He comes back. Our boy.
Oh, Arkin is ongoing. Arkin's whole thing now is basically just, I'm going to avoid Settra, wander the plains, and try to gain enough like power so that I can help Nagash overthrow Settra.
Oh, okay. So he's like on the other team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who the heck is Wakaf of the First Dynasty?
What?
I'm just looking. This is like Total War Warhammer. Like I'm just looking at all the units.
Yes.
Okay, so Tomb King. They got Lich Priest, a bunch. Yeah, a Necrotect. What is that?
The Necrotect? Oh, that's like a dude who builds the constructs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's just like an undead zombie all day, just like chiseling away and making like weird monstrosities made of brass, stone, and bones. And that's all that dude does for all eternity.
Do the Crypt Ghouls follow Settra, or are they still Nagash?
Crypt Ghouls actually, the main thing is that the Crypt Ghouls, they aren't actually like they don't follow anyone. They usually follow vampires and Nagash because they can eat the dead.
Yeah.
They just see it as like, oh, there's a big monster that we can follow because it's probably going to lead to slaughter and we're hungry.
Okay. What is a Cherion?
Oh, the Cherions. Those are like undead birds, like vulture things. They basically just like swarm the enemy and then just start harassing them. They don't do a whole lot. It's great for, I mean, I guess the thing is like if you were in Hikata and it's like one dude wandering the desert and you see 12 of these things that are the size of you, it's like, oh crap.
They have Tomb Scorpions as well.
Yeah, we got the Tomb Scorpion, which is just, that was actually there with Nagash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those things were there all the time, but they were just big constructs that just go under the sand and then they just jump out and start wrecking havoc.
What is the Casket of Souls?
Right, that is like the Casket of Souls is pretty much an artillery piece that just blasts the souls of the damned, and just if they hit you, like it just drags your soul out of your body. And it's like, you're coming with us, and then drags it back into the coffin.
A unit in the tabletop, Casket of Souls.
Oh yeah, they're in the tabletop.
They are? Ooh. Mm-hmm. Oh, they are. Ooh, the model's pretty cool too, actually.
It is pretty dope. Dude, they got probably one of the coolest lineups, really cool looks wise.
Yeah, they got really cool models, man.
Yeah, man.
Casket of Souls. It's pretty awesome.
There's also the dude who was just an idea of like Settra's nobility too. Like, I mean, I kind of talked about it, but like he was actually a weirdly tolerant dude in a weird way that was like his main, he had one like head honcho dude who would like lead his armies for him. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, like this chosen champion, but the dude was rumored to have like Norskin blood, and he was just like a, combatant in like a coliseum, basically just fighting dudes. But he looked at him and he was like, no, you're fine, dude. Like, I don't care what your background is. You can be my chosen champion.
Oh, okay.
And like that dude actually was like, wow, okay, and is completely subservient to Settra and just acts as his champion the whole time. He doesn't try to like fight against him or anything. Well, maybe he does in the end times. I don't know. But the whole time that he's there, in the modern times, yeah, no, it's actually a surprisingly good relationship. What else? Oh, this was the one that I wanted to find. The Sepulchral Stalkers. Sepulchral. I'm not sure how to pronounce this thing.
Oh man, you're gonna have to like put that up as like a subtitle on the thing, because I can't pronounce this either. Oh, they look really cool. They're like snake dudes. Yeah, they're like snake construct things. I think these are like the things of Asaf, like some of the constructs of Asaf, but like apparently they have like a gaze that can like turn people to stone as well. They're pretty cool. Oh damn. Yeah, they got some cool units, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's so gross that this got discontinued. Yeah, man. I bet a lot of people were pretty sad that they didn't bring him into what's it called? Into Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. So this is like
but
the
I'm sure.
stand-in.
I'm sure. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say this is like the how, like the Necrons in 40k. This is the Necrons of fantasy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, like Necrons and 40k are cool, but honestly, I like these guys way better. Maybe because I like fantasy.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I mean, the Necrons are an interesting concept for sure. They're a cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess that's the thing too, is being like the Necrons and the Tomb Kings are like, they're both just like undead, being like, well, who's to say that the living, like they can just kill the living because it's like, we're on the same playing field. It's like, no, you guys just think you're alive. You're not actually sentient.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's cool, but yeah.
It is.
All right. I think that's really all I have to cover with the Tomb Kings and SETTRA. Do you have any follow-up questions or?
No, man, we went through a lot.
We did, yeah. I just thought, like, at the end of the day, it's like, I need to show you these guys because, mama.
And you got to pull it up so other people can see too, the viewers.
Oh, of course, they will be on the screen, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I will take us home then.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode covering the Tomb Kings and SETTRA and the follow-up to all of Nagasa's stuff. Please do consider becoming a subscriber if you are not. Feel free to leave a like. Feel free to leave a comment. It all helps the channel. I love seeing all that stuff. And until then, I will see you all in the next episode. Take care.
Bye.